Well, hello and good morning. So, here's another day, another dollar, and you're thinking, hey, I had a really good time last night. It's been awesome. But I still gotta take this wretched test. I don't understand why. Why do you feel like I'm not motivated? I feel like maybe I'm just being lazy. No, you're being overwhelmed. You wanna take a test. Not really. You have to take a test in order for you to get to the next level. So I love how you're basically doing a lot of stuff with your careers. You're really building yourself up, and now you thought everything was fine. My life with mathematics, it just deals with a calculator. All I have to do is just look at my phone. I don't even know where my phone is, and then you just go ahead and go with life. But now you have to take a test. Maybe you want to get your GED. You saw everyone else graduating this past year, and you're like, you know what? I need to face my fear. Or maybe you're trying to get your ASVAB, and for some reason you just can't get over that 31 that you need. Or maybe you're trying to go into nursing school, and now you're starting to see that algebra that you're like, why is this here? You're like, why is this here? Exactly. Or maybe you're trying to go back to college and you have to get some college credit, but they're asking you to take a test so they can figure out what math class you need to be in. Or are you going to do intermediate math class, or you're going to go straight to college algebra? Either way, math is still a part, and you're like, sad. Okay? But what I do here is I try to not only just build you up, because trust me, I used to be a former I don't like math. And for some reason, which I think is God, I became a math teacher. 22 years into the classroom, and now about to start year 7 as my online math tutoring business. So if you don't know who I am, my name is Audrey Codner, and I'm the owner of Math by Audrey. So we're breaking down a lot of the concepts that you're going to see in those general assessments: the GED, the ASVAB, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, and also little bits and pieces that you will see in the SAT and the ACT. Because in order for you to get from one point to the next, you have to build up your foundation. And I think a lot of you guys just need to tweak some of your ideas. So, what we do, we're going to go through a bunch of problems today. So I'm pulling some problems from my actual books that I've created that you can actually sit down. What I found very funny this morning is I got a message of a person that says, are you coming on? Because this morning I just can't with this person. Guys, you do not own me. TikTok does not own me. No one pays me for these things. So in order for me to keep going, you're going to have to invest sometimes. Because I definitely want to tell you, just watching videos is not making you go through what's called practice. Once you watch the video, all of a sudden you're watching another video, and everything that you did in that live goes away. So we have to solidify by doing practice as soon as you get the information. So what I'm going to do, we're going to do a couple problems from my books, and we're going to walk through them step by step. So for this one, we have a carpenter needs to cut 12-inch stakes from boards that are 8 feet long. How many stakes can he get from 5 boards? Now, yes, it's a word problem. You're going to see a lot of these, they're not going anywhere. Most people will look at it and are like, oh, I got the answer, and immediately putting the answer in. All right, that's fine. But let's stop for a moment. Let's calm our nervous system. You're going to be taking a test where the time is going to go, and you're really going to have to learn to control your anxiety, to control the nervousness. Let's take a look at what they're giving you. All right? So as I always say, you don't have to read the whole entire thing. This wasn't a long paragraph, so that wasn't too torturous. But if they ever have a paragraph that's as big as this whole entire thing here, yeah, always go to the question. So how many steaks from 5 boards? Okay, what else are they giving me? Well, they're saying that we have 12-inch steaks, okay, and they're cut from boards that are 8 feet long. So let's think about that. 12 inches, and now they're going to feet. So we have to do conversion. So yes, we're going to be doing some conversion. So if we know how many feet are in 12 inches, I'm not trying to insult your intelligence. I just want to know where we're at. So put in the chat, how many feet are in 12 inches? Okay, is that Marie? Marina? Okay, and then Mare, I see you. Devon, I see you. Lisa, I see you. Rashana, I see you. Hello, Big Al, I see you. Okay. Is that Kylan? I see you. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is because we have to understand that we're converting from something from inches to feet. Okay. Now, since 12 inches equals 1 foot, and there is 8 feet long boards, so basically the main source is not going to be division, it's actually going to be multiplication. So if we're looking at 8 feet and then we're talking about the boards, okay, so if the boards are 8 feet, can't we just say that we got 8 feet boards? And then we're going to say, all right, well, how many steaks do we need? So since 12 inches is 1 foot, that means we need 8 of these, right? And then if we have these 8 feet, can we just multiply the 8 and the 5? Think about it. So each of the steaks are supposed to be 12 inches long, and they're from boards that are 8 feet long. This whole thing with the 12 inches is kind of unnecessary, isn't it? We got 8-foot long boards, and they want to know how many steaks you're going to get from 5 boards, right? So couldn't we just multiply the 8 and the 5? All right. Okay. So what's 8 times 5? So how many steaks we're going to get? We're going to get 40 steaks. Okay, we're going to get 40. Okay, so I'm just cutting thin. See, that's the exact question. I love that. I'm going to pin that. Sorry, not to insult, but I'm going to put that up because a lot of people, when it comes to word problems, this is what we got. We try to overanalyze sometimes. Because we're like, no, because what happens if you need to cut the thing thin? And, you know, and you're exactly right. A real carpenter will get as many as needed. Exactly. But see, when it comes to these math problems, especially for standardized tests, the reason why they do math problems or word problems is because they're trying to connect math with a nice little real world situation. And sometimes the situation when you're in it doesn't make sense, right? But this is their attempt. So that 12 inches was throwing us off, okay? All we had to do was multiply the 8 and the 5, okay, to get our 40, okay? All right, so I love that. So I'm not doing it to insult, but that's what it is. We can't overanalyze. I know, right? Right? So now, let's take a look at this one. A person invests $5,000 at an annual simple interest rate of 4%. How much interest will they earn after 3 years? All right. So for those that are coming in, all right. So Hunter, there'll be a lot of people. You'll be surprised. I had a young man last month that told me the equivalent of a minute was no equivalent of an hour was 2 minutes. Was literally how many? No, I said how many seconds was in an hour, and they told me two. Excuse me. So we can't assume. We cannot assume, and that person is going to be a senior in high school. Okay, just want to put that out there. All right. All right. Kitty, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Hello, McTom. How are you? All right. Okay. Math is your biggest issue, and that's fine. And that's fine. And that's why I'm so glad that you stopped here, because this is what we're going to be doing. So, key thing, and sometimes with these word problems, they give you little hints. First thing, simple interest. So this us knowing what is the formula for simple interest. So I is going to represent your interest. P represent your principal. The principal is your starting amount. Your R is your rate, and your rate as a decimal. Then closing with the T. Okay? The T is your time based out of years. So if we're trying to find how much interest, that means we're trying to find the I. Okay? So how much interest, that will tell us which of these variables we're trying to find. So we're trying to find the I. So they told us what our principal is. Our principal is what we started with. That's our 5,000. Now, our rate is our percentage, but as a decimal. What's 4% as a decimal? Go ahead and put that into the chat, please. What is 4% as a decimal? Okay. All right. I see you guys. I see you, Blobs. I see you that. I see you, Riley. I see you, Ma. I see you, T. I see you, Naomi. I see you, Bella. Hold on. There's some people in the beginning. Let me get you. Okay, Uncle, I see you. Elf, I see you. Big Al, I see you. McLovin, hey, I see you. Is that Ernie? Sometimes with the cursive, it's so hard to see, especially when it's in blue. Ban me. Oh, so sad. I see you. Hey, Fitzprime, how are you? I see you. My alert sign, I see you. Okay, excellent, guys. Okay, gratefully be careful, if I may say. I Spy, I see you. Poker, Walking Dead, love that. I see you, okay. Audrey, I see you, thank you. Now, when you start, I'm going to put this off to the side for a second. So 4%. So the percentage sign is going to be back here. Remember, it's always out of 100. Percentage is always out of 100. So it's the same as saying, all right, I need to move my decimal side 2 times to the left. So that'll be 1, 2. Then you put your decimal. For this filling space, we put a 0 in. And in the beginning space, we always put a 0 to represent the dollars. Okay, so 4% is 0.04. 40 is 0.4. Okay, so a lot of you guys got that. Sorry, I'm shaking everything. And then for how many years? 3 years. So we're basically doing multiplication. So I know for the ASVAB and for the Accuplacer, you can't use a calculator at all. TEAS test, you can use a scientific calculator. GED, they will give you a calculator electronically, but you can only use it for certain problems. I know in our state they only use it for certain problems. Maybe other states you can use it the whole time. It's not consistent, okay? But I definitely know that the ASVAB, you cannot use a calculator as well as the Accuplacer. So we're going to be doing a lot of physical writing down math. Now when I see this, I can probably do one of two things. I could probably multiply my 400ths times 3, which gives me 0.2. Because 3 times 4 gives me 12, so I write down my 2, carry my 1. 3 times 0 gives me 0 plus the 1 gives me my 1. Alright, so since this is 2 decimal places, this has no decimal place. That means our answer should be in 2 decimal places. So now we're going to take that 5,000 and multiply it by 0.12 or 12 thousandths or hundredths. Okay, you're going to get your 3 zeros. So we can think of it this way. We can say 2 times 5, that gives me 10, carry my 1. Alright, then we have our 1 times 5, with that carried 1, that will give us our 6. Or you can think of it this way. What's 12 times 5? That's 60. So now, no decimal places, 2 decimal places. That means our answer has to be 2 decimal places. So 1, 2, that means we have 600. So our answer is going to be C, 600. Okay. So again, if you're coming here and you're like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. This is taking so long. I come here to break down your math phobia. Let's be real. Okay, when you were early on and when you're learning algebra, remember the first time you saw numbers and letters and you were like, what is this? And you didn't have anyone possibly to really break it down. And then immediately you just said, you know what? Math isn't my thing. It's just not my thing. And I'm done. But now you need this to kind of be your thing. Okay, you do. All right, so I like to break things step by step. All right, so we can get all these things done. Okay, cool. You love letters. I know, and all of a sudden it just get crazy. All right, so let's take a look. How are you guys feeling? Okay, give me a thumbs up or meh. Okay, or a thumbs down. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, McTom. All right. So it's not so much like I want to be here because of my ego. I want to be here to be helpful. I know. I'm one of those crazy people that care. That stays up in the middle of the night like shaking in a corner like, how can I help people? How can I make them feel their greatness? So this is the stuff that I do. All right? Okay? You feeling meh? You feeling awful, kitty? Oh, why is this? Okay. Just one more. Wait. Hold on. Uncle, you could have broken the concept just the one more step, but that may be new math? No, it's not new math. It's just multiplying. The final step for this part? Yeah. All I did was multiply them instead of trying to multiply all 3 at the same time. And we can't do it, what do you call it? We can't multiply all 3 numbers at once because that'll be using a calculator. And like I'm saying, I'm trying to use it basically the traditional way. Okay? Yep, this hasn't been anything new. All right? Okay. That's what I'm saying. You can understand everything. So what was the question again? Right here. Okay, how much interest will there be earned? So not how much is going to be earned, how much interest they're going to earn in 3 years. So they're going to earn $600. Okay, it's not adding back with the original. It's not saying how much would they have in their account. It's saying how much interest. Okay, that's okay, Aubrey. We're going to take it step by step. All right. So now this, our next question. Let's see if I can make it a lot bigger. Our next question is one of those questions that a lot, I want to say a good 92% of people get it wrong. Or they skip it. Because they're just like, I don't know where to start. Okay, so let's take it step by step. So we have a painter can paint a room in 3 hours. His apprentice can paint the same room in 6 hours. Working together, how many hours will it take them? Okay, I know, pink dandy, it's everyone feels the same way. Okay, so we stop and we think for a moment. So right away, people, when they see this, they're like, no, not doing it. Who cares? Is the room painted? Beautiful. Is it painted well? Great. But let's think of it almost like a proportion. Okay? Let's think of it like fractions. A lot of people would say, all right, let me just, add these two together. But guys, if we think about it, it's the same room. They even said it right here. It's the same room. So if one person can do it in 3 hours, another person can do it in 6 hours, we need to set up almost like fractions. I know. So we're talking about the room, how many rooms, over the hours. Let's think of it that way. So, well, it says it painted a room in 3 hours. So the first ratio that we're going to do is 1 over 3. Because it's a room that's happening in 3 hours. Right? Then, here comes the apprentice. They're doing the same room, so that's 1 room. But they do it in 6 hours. Okay? Now, working together. When they're saying working together, that's telling me what operation I'm doing. So if it's working together, that means I'm adding these two together. And I want to know what we're going to get for a final answer. So let's take a look. There you go. We can do that. So, since we have a common denominator, do we? No, we don't. But that's what we need anytime we're adding or subtracting fractions. So we need a common denominator. What is a common denominator, or a common number, that the 3's and the 6's times table have? What do they have in common? Not the greatest common. Looking at that. So looking at the 3 times table, looking at the 6 times table. What do they have in common? So for the 3's, you have 3, 6, 9, 12. So you don't want the greatest common, you want the least common. Right? Good job. Alright, it's not going to be 9's because there's no 9's in the 6 times table. There we go, Willie. There we go, Lion. There we go, Aubrey. There we go, Pooh. Pooh Bear. All right. Cece, I see you. Travis, I see you. Misha, welcome back. I see you. Caroline, I see you. Okay, 3 will be the greatest common factor, but these aren't factors. We're looking at the multiplication. We're looking at the 3 times table. We're looking at the 6 times table. That's why they call it the LCM, the least common multiple, or in this case, the least common denominator, which is 6. So that means this one already has a 6, so we don't have to do anything to that. But that 3, we need to change it. So we need to change that 3 to a 6. So how do I change a 3 to a 6? I can multiply it by 2. Whatever I do to the denominator, I need to do to its numerator. Okay, good. Multiply it by 2. There you go. So whatever I do in the denominator to change it into a 6, the same thing needs to happen for its numerator. Okay? All right, Daniel, this is not the place for you. I'm so sorry. All right, so now we have a common denominator. This is the thing that a lot of people use to get wrong. When you add fractions and they have a common denominator, you do not add the denominator. You keep it. Okay? You do not add the denominator. You only add the numerators. Okay? All right? So now you got your 2 plus 1, that gives you your 3. All right? So now, 3/6. There you go, Blasian. I see you. All right, Brenda, I see you. Yes, McKee, I see you. So now we can reduce 3/6. So what does 3/6 have in common? That's your GCF. Okay, that's when you use GCF. So sometimes we get confused with the LCM for the GCF. So what number does 3 and 6 have in common? It's going to be 3. And you are going to divide those things. That's how we reduce fractions. So I'm trying to teach like multiple concepts at once as a refresher. So 3 divided by 3, that will give me 1. I need to put it down here, I ran out of room. And 6 divided by 3, that gives me 2. Okay? So we're basically adding together what one person can do for the painting and another person can do for the painting, because we want to know how many hours would it take for both of them to do. Once we find our common denominator, then we just add the numerators. That's where this 3 came from. So now we want to reduce 3/6 with 3 because that's what they have in common. So now you got my 1 out of 2. But remember what our ratio was. What represented our ratios? So we have our room over hours. So for these 2 people to paint 1 room, it will take exactly 2 hours. Okay? So as I'm going through this, I'm trying to use proper terminology that you're going to see. That's what makes us crazy. Because sometimes we'll read something and we're like, what the heck is their saying? The same thing is like when you get some PDFs, or if you get like any kind of like, oh, this is free, let me practice doing my skills, and then you see the answer key, you're like, what are they saying? I need a translator. I need an adult. Okay, so we can be able to understand. All right, so again, no, it was like 2 hours. Right, exactly. Because if you try to do anything else, it's not going to be 9 hours. Like, really stop and think about it. If a person can paint a room in 3 hours, and another person can paint a room in 6 hours, It's not going to take longer for two people to do anything. Let's stop and think about it. So it's not going to be D, because that would have been way too long. All right, so now you got some potential. I would have guessed either between A or C, but to solidify it, I used the math to break it on down. Like I said, there's multiple ways. Exactly. Naya, you hit that. It's not even a question. Can't even get you. Trying to pin stuff. Look at me trying to be popular. Okay? There's multiple ways. And that's the one thing about math. And when you're doing standardized testing, they don't care. They don't care how you do it as long as you give them the answer of A, B, C, and D. But when you're in the classroom, your teacher wants to see your steps. Okay? Your teacher wants to see your steps, so you have to walk through your steps. Even though you look at the answer, you're like, mental math, I could just do blah, blah, blah. But I want you to try this way. I know sometimes it's annoying, and I tell my students the same thing. So sometimes, like when they give me just an answer on a test, I know this is me just being a teacher. I would pull that kid aside and say, hey, come to me during lunch. Walk me through your process. And if that kid can't walk me through the process, you cheated. But if a kid's like, well, this is what happens, and they're breaking it down and they are precise, you're getting your points. But that's me. A lot of teachers don't do that. And I don't understand. Because we all learn differently. Some of us are visual learners. Okay? So, back to this. Can you please take a screenshot? Of course. Take a quick shot. There you go. Okay. You don't know this anymore? That's okay, Star. That's okay. Because that's why I'm here. Alright? To break things down step by step. Jackie, I see you. Thank you so much. Alright? We got a rectangular tank. It's 5 feet long, 4 feet wide, and 30 feet deep. Okay? If 1 cubic feet holds 7 5/10 gallons, what is the total capacity of the tank in gallons? So, I need a tutor. The next semester, pray for you. Need a tutor? You got me. Boom. I do college algebra. There you go. All right. Now, Cynthia, I know, but here's the thing, okay? I'm seeing people putting stuff in, which is awesome. Now, let's think about it. Capacity. That is the key words. The total capacity. When I think of capacity, I'm thinking of how much it can hold. So they're saying one thing, a rectangular. Rectangular, that means we're dealing with a rectangle. But we're dealing with a 3-dimensional rectangle. Bob Ross, eat your heart out. Take your trees. Okay? Alright? We're thinking of a box. Okay? Now, when they're saying the total capacity, think about when you hear the word capacity. You're usually hearing it in sports arenas. You're usually hearing it in events. It's basically, hey, Lud, go ahead, give me some money so I can do that, okay? I'm like, shoot. All right? You want to talk about how much it holds, okay? So how many, for my thing, how many matchsticks can I hold inside this box, okay? When they talk about that, that means we're looking at volume. All right? We're looking at volume. How much can this hold? So we need to know what is the volume of a rectangular tank. So we're talking about it's how feet long. So this is like 5 feet right here. How wide it is. That's 4 feet right here. and how deep it is, that's 3 feet right here. Okay? So for you to find a rectangular prism, you're basically going your length times width times its height. So we just need to multiply these three. That's that first part. So what is 5 times 4 times 3? What's 5 times 4 times 3? Go ahead and put that into the chat. Five times 4 times 3. Okay, so I'm seeing Chris, I'm seeing Country, I'm seeing Evelyn, I'm seeing Jared, I'm seeing 60s, I'm seeing some 200s, I'm seeing some 192s. Come on, pink circle, come on. Multiplying, okay, multiplying. So 5 times 4, that's 20. 20 times 3, that's 60, okay. 5 times 4 times 3. You have your 20 times your 3, that gives you your 60. So this is 60 cubic feet. Okay? That's what volume. Volume is always dealing with your 3-dimensional figures. Okay? You're wondering how much this can hold. So then we get to the next part. If 1 cubic foot holds 7.5 gallons, so if 1 cubic foot holds 7.5 gallons, we have 60 of them. Okay? So if you want to think of it as a proportion, you can. So if we're saying 1 cubic foot is 7.5 gallons, they want to know how many gallons, so that's my unknown, but we have 60 cubic feet. So this is simply when you have a fraction equal to a fraction, you're going to cross multiply. If you see it right away that a cubic foot is going to equal so many gallons, and we got so many cubic feet, we could just multiply, because that's what you're doing. 1 times x gives me x. And now you just have to multiply 60 with 7.5. Okay? So with 60 times 7.5, that will give you your 460. Because if we do 7.5 times 60, you know you're going to get a 0. 6 times 5 is 30. Carry my 3. 7 times 6 is 42, plus the 5 is 45. And since this is 1 decimal place, but this is no decimal place, so I move my decimal over 1 slot. So it gives me 450. So it will be B. Okay. So this is what the key part is. The key is we need to, 1, know what the volume was. And notice they didn't say, what's the volume? Instead, they said the word capacity. So if you're not strong with the English language, because we're very confusing with English, and we didn't understand what capacity, and capacity meant volume, you wouldn't be able to get this part, and then you're going to be like, what's going on? Okay? Thank you. All right? So this is why we really have to take it down. This is why sometimes they use word problems to separate the haves from the have-nots. Okay? I still haven't gotten anything from my Cash App from my friend that talked to me about my nails. All right? Okay? Not a problem. So this is what you got to do. All right. I do have another concept that I want to do, and then that'll be it for today. Okay. All right. So you guys got your screenshot? Everyone got it? So these questions came directly from the book that I wrote that people can use to practice. Now, the title of it was ASVAB Math Practice. Okay, so the title of it is ASVAB Math Practice. And if you take a look, here's the investment question. Here was the first question that we have about the stakes. Here's the question about painter. And here's the question about the tanks. So with my ASVAB math questions, I have like a series of 3 quizzes in here. So it's like 40, one has 40, another one's 40, another one's 32 questions. And then I put a little extra question in there. So you get to practice the way that you're going to be assessed, especially for the arithmetic reasoning, which is the word problems. Okay, so it goes from everything to regular statistics, finding your mean, finding how to break down with exponents, everything that you usually will see. Okay, so this, I do have it inside of my Stan store, which you can locate the link if you go to my profile. All right. So, to recommend how to do fractions. Can't remember how to do them. Now, here's my thing, Jason. That's a great question. You can, because I have a review of it, if you just need like a quick review. But if you want like a direct, that's all we're doing, teaching how to do fractions, you can easily go into YT and look up fractions, okay? I might even come on later on this afternoon and might even just do fractions for you guys. Why not? Yeah, why not? And just do adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions. Why not? I might even do that. And I'll record it and I'll put it on my YT. Okay? Not a problem. And what I mean by YT, because I can't say the name, so exhausting. All of my replays that you have here on TikTok, all of my replays, I just put it in here. Let me pin it to the top so you guys can see it. Because again, I don't know when you guys will come in. Can I do combining like terms? I actually did. If anything, go to my YT channel. And there is a couple of them. So when you go into the YT channel, you could do a search in the channel and just type in like terms and you'll see all the stuff that I have there. Okay? But I can definitely do that. Okay? Because you're late sometimes. Yep, so that's exactly where you guys can go for all my replays. Alright, so this concept is geometric. Okay? So, let's see if I can do this without half the things blowing away. Now, if you're taking your ASVAB or your Accuplacer, even GED, you always have something that has to deal with 2 parallel lines and a line cutting right through it. This line cutting right through it is called a transversal. The reason why I want to address this, and I just noticed a typo, which I will straighten that out, split that bad boy up, is the reason why I'm doing this. This is a 4-point question for my GED people. 4 points, okay? Remember, when you take the GED or any high school equivalency, each question is not worth a point. No. Certain questions give you certain values. So like a basic will be like adding, like we did for the example of the 2 fractions. When we have a common denominator and you're adding them together, that's a 1-point question. A 2-point question might be doing a 2-step or multi-step equation, solving for x. That'll be a 2-point question. A 3-point question might be like a simple word problem that you're doing some multiplication with it. That'd be like a 3-point question because it's the word problems. But a 4-point question deals with slope, deals with the equation of the line, system of equations, system of inequalities, factoring, volume, that volume question that we just did, that's a 4-point question. So in situations like this, we have two parallel lines cut what's called a transversal. And notice it creates 8 angles. Now, these angles have a certain name. Now, how deep do we want to go? It's up to you. So they're saying, because all of this is pertaining to this, they're saying what's the measure of angle 1 when the measure of angle 4 equals, and they give you this expression. Now, let me back up before I get to that. Angle 1 and angle 4, they're congruent because they are vertical angles. Angle 5 and angle 8, they're congruent. That means they're worth the same. They're the same measure because they're vertical angles. 6 and 7, vertical angles. 2 and 3, vertical angles. So that means if I copied 2 and I took a ride down the transversal, just like nice little slide on down, it should match angle 6. Those are called corresponding angles. So whatever angle 2 is, the same is going to be for angle 6. Keeping with that same philosophy, if I traced angle 4, actually, let me see if I do have to really show it to you. So I used to have tracing paper, but I don't think I do it anymore. Nope, I don't. Sorry. So, maybe next time. If I traced angle 4 and I slid down my transversal, it's going to match exactly with angle 8. Okay? So whatever I get for angle 4, I'm also going to get for angle 8. Whatever I get for angle 1, slide down, it's going to match up with angle 5. Those are called corresponding angles. Anything in between the two parallel lines, that's called interior. Anything in between, so angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, and angle 6, they are interior angles. Now, if you notice, the measure of angle 3, if I trace this, if I flipped it, it will match the measure of angle 6. So 3 and 6, they're congruent, as well as 4 and 5 are. They're called alternate interior angles because one's on one side of the transversal, the other is on the other side of the transversal. Okay? So, taking a look, they're telling us the measure of angle 4 is going to be 5x plus 35. Okay? So that expression is representing angle 4. Okay? So angle 7 equals 45 degrees. All right? So let's take a look. Remember what I said earlier. We have parallel lines being cut by a transversal. If angle 7 is 45 degrees, what else is 45 degrees? What are some options? If angle 7 is 45 degrees, what else is 45 degrees? Okay. 6 prime or just 6? 6. Okay. So angle 2 could be 45 degrees, but we got angle 6 here. Because remember what I said earlier? They're vertical angles. So that means, and I'm going to put this in pencil, that means angle 6 could be 45 degrees as well. What else could be 45 degrees? JP, I see you with number 3, because if I trace number 7 and I slid up, it will match exactly with number 3. So this is also 45 degrees as well. And then Big Al, you're adding with angle 2, because angle 2 and 3s, they're vertical angles. So they're going to be the same. Okay? Now, I don't want to overwhelm completely. Yep, you're right with angle 3, Misha. Good. So now, they want to know if the measure of angle there is that, and that equals 45 degrees. So what is the measure of angle 1? So let's zoom in. Okay? They want to know what is the measure of angle 1. So let's take a look. If I had, I need some paper, so to cover up. If we're looking for angle 1, we can kind of cover up the rest of the stuff so we can focus on this section up here. If you notice, everyone's like, well, angle 1 is equal to 5x plus 35 because they're vertical angles, Audrey. True. But our answers were looking for a degree. So we can do this. What is it called when you have two adjacent angles that creates a straight line? You're like, ooh, what are they called? So from people. Okay, what is it called though? Okay, Kirsten, 180, yes. What are they called though? We know it's going to measure 180. Misha, I see you. Okay, Lost, I see you because you're not lost. Okay, Travis, angle 1 will be acute. Okay, JP, I see you. Okay, McTom, I see you. Kirsten, I see you. Supplementary angles, yes. Okay, congruent then will be the same exact thing. When you see two angles that are adjacent to each other, this is going to give you what's called supplementary angles. And supplementary angles equals 180 degrees. So that means the sum of these two angles is going to equal 180 degrees. But we know part of it is 45 degrees. So what do we need to do in order to solidify these lovely answers that I'm getting? Okay, so that means good. We're subtracting 180 minus the 45. So if you're seeing like 135s and you're like, where are these people getting this number from? They're basically taking the measure of a line, okay, which is 180 degrees, and they're subtracting the 45, okay? I know it really should be the other way around. But remember, with geometry, you can't use your eyes. All right? So this is where the 135 is coming from. And you're like, it should be the other way around. True. But remember, geometry, can't use your eyes. Always got to prove things. So now, the answer of this first one is going to be C. But the next piece for the same stuff is what's the value of x? Well, let's take a look. We know that 4 is representing 3x plus 35. And we know that angle 1 is 135. These two angles are going to be equal to each other because they're vertical angles. So all we have to do is take our 5x plus 35, I'm going to put it down here, and set it equal to the other angle, which is 135. And all we're doing is solving. Okay, text, I see you. All right, so let's do it. Let's subtract our 35. Get a little practice with solving equations. Remember, you're always doing its inverse. So if you see plus 35, you're doing the opposite, which is minus 35. 35 minus 35, that will give us 0. So that means we're bringing down that 5x. We don't need that 0 as a placeholder because we have this 5x that needs to come down. So 135 minus 35, thank you, will give us 100. So now we need to get x by itself. 5x means 5 times x. The inverse of times is division. So 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. They don't cancel out. It really gives me an answer of 1. 1x and x means the same thing because there's physically 1x right there. Then we have 100 divided by 5. That gives us 20. So our answer should have been D, 20. Okay. You can't believe you got that? Jackie, yes you can. Yes you can. Alright. Good job, guys. So you're taking it step by step. Alright. Okay. So the key part was to know what's the measure. Okay, so when you have angles that are directly across from each other and they create like a little V, those are vertical angles. They are always congruent. Okay, so if I traced angle 1 and I slide down this transversal, it will match up with angle 5. Those are called corresponding angles. And anything that's in between the two parallel lines, that's interior. Anything that's outside, that's exterior. Okay? Alright. For geometry, yes, this is definitely in the regions. Because I know the regions are coming up for you guys, actually. Okay? Alright, so I just wanted to touch on that. So again, if you need extra practice with these things, I have practice sheets, and those came out of yes. So those questions came out of this practice exam book that I created. Yep, there's my name. Alright, and notice here's that same problem. So with these practice books, again, I just basically looked at the GED, the ASVAB questions, the Accuplacer questions, and I made 6 full-length tests. So each test has 35 questions in it. Now, as you're learning, as you're progressing, okay, just to kind of show it to you, you need to practice the way that you're going to assess. Okay, so even though you're looking at people's lives, I know you're not just looking at mine, which is fine, but here's the problem. When you look at lives, you're watching it as a spectator. Maybe you're writing some stuff down, which is good, but then I have to challenge you. Are you looking at it after this live? Did you look at the information the next day? Did you go to their, YouTube channel, YT channel, to see if there's any videos? What are you doing with the information? Okay, it didn't have geometry. What didn't have geometry? Kirsten, what didn't have geometry? Okay, so instead of you just sitting, because I'm going to be very real with you. I love you. I don't even know you, but you're another human being that had to go through the struggle just as much as I did. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be a math major, you're going to love math, and you're just going to want to just marry it. No, I'm not saying that. But are you going to understand some of the concepts enough for you to get that high score so you can do what you want to achieve? Yes, because they're using math as a pawn to separate the haves and the have-nots. And that's not fair. Okay? So, I saw your physical book. To my surprise, you played basketball. Yes, I did. Why are you surprised? So did I. You did? A great mean. Okay. A great mean get our mails. Right? Yep. I used to play professional basketball. Yep. I played at St. Joe's University. I'm a Hawk. The Hawk would never die. But here's my thing. It's nice to have like the Hawk will never die, but I played overseas. I was in Sweden, Luxembourg, Iceland. Loved Iceland. You should always go. You should just go. The people are beautiful. Everybody's beautiful there, which is hilarious. Like they're like, oh, he's ugly. I'm like, that's ugly? Jesus. But for the most part, when it comes to, and I do, a lot of people that I tutor are athletes. A lot of them are doing AAU. A lot of people are doing, or a lot of my kids are either doing AAU, they're into drama, so they're theater kids. I actually have some people that are in shows, but I can't tell you who they are, but they are in some popular Broadway shows and TV. Cool, right? I used to have this one person, she was a semi-pro golfer. So it's like, it's very, and a lot of them are playing, college, and they're, some of them, I don't think I had anyone in the Olympics. The Junior Olympics, yes. But the big thing, no, not yet. Not yet, but it's coming. All right, so some is interested. Yep. Was I in AAU? I have a story, but I was tricked into it. Yeah. AAU, I was the type of person when we used to have full court basketball in the outdoor courts, that's why my knees are bad now, that I would go out and I would play basketball and I would practice. I would be the one that if you're stopping at a stoplight, you see me doing defensive slides, working on my rebounding, doing my push-ups on hard concrete. Like that's how I learned. And I played against the older guys when they finally let me play, and they're like, oh my gosh, she's a beast. I'm like, yeah, I was a beast. So those are the type of things that I used to do. Now, I've always been smart. But when it comes to the math concepts, I love for you to understand rather than memorize. Like there's a couple tracks I was thinking of and I wrote down because I didn't want to forget. I want you to understand instead of memorize. Okay? Do I want you to be a super genius? No. If it happens, great. But I want you to understand, because then when they change the situations, you're going to be like, well, 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, and 2 squared, that still gives me an answer of 4, regardless of how they try to present it. Now, also, practicing doesn't mean just watching it. This doesn't equate to practice. You actually need to sit down and physically, after we do a session, you need to practice. That's why I created Algebra at Your Pace. So Algebra at Your Pace is not just a regular workbook. Okay, you'll have like a QR code that goes with everything that connects to me breaking down concepts. But then you notice you get practice problems at the end. So you're able to sit down and try to solidify your understanding. And at the end of the book, they give you a quiz. So this quiz, it basically touches on all the concepts that was taught in this particular volume, and then I give you some support. Okay, so I give you some support, some knowledge, some things to help, refresh your memory. And at the end of volume 1, I give you flashcards to work a little bit more with exponents, because a lot of people usually get certain things incorrect. This side is the question, the other side is the answer. You can make copies of it, you could tear it out of the book. If you do it digitally, then you could just print out what you need. And then you do your practice, okay? So you have to really get with the practice. Now, here's another thing. There's 2 more tracks to my album called Math by Audrey. Okay? You need to match the resources to your learner. So when you guys ask me questions, like I ask questions back because I want to see, is my stuff really something that you need? A lot of other people are like, oh yeah, this works for you. And then you buy it and you're like, this doesn't match what I was thinking. I don't want that for you. I want this to be the last time you have to stress yourself. Now you got someone that did the stress for you, and then you can actually do the practice. Now you can make the connection, all right? So that's why I always like to match whatever my resources is. Is it my flashcards? Is it the books? Maybe you just need to get reorganized and just do the notebooks. Maybe that's what it is. But no one will know until we kind of get it situated, okay? And then the last one, it's going to sound harsh. I'm going to teach you, but I'm not going to carry you, okay? I used to come on here and just do a bunch of problems. Okay, here comes my uterus kicking in. Why I get teary? I'm telling you, don't get old. It's crazy. Get all these emotions in you. I come on here because I know there's a lot of people that struggle with math. And I know there's a lot of people that's here that's like, hey, I got this. This is easy. How can people not know this? A lot of people have different ways of dealing with this thing called life. No one told them, when they were born, they didn't get to pick where they wanted to be. They didn't get to pick who their parents are. They didn't get to pick what the color of their skin is. They are who they are. And they're trying to make do with this world. It's already so easy to beat somebody down than to build somebody up. So with that being said, the way that you learned math is not the same thing. You may have a teacher that was there that gave you resources. You had all the resources in the world that you can, like activities to really make it stick. Or you may have had multiple teachers in one year because people kept quitting because the kids were so bad. And the reason why the kids were so bad, they didn't have a mama to sit there and say, sit your butt down. This is what we're going to do. You ain't going to do that here. That's how I was in the classroom. Because I would basically say, right now, I'm not your teacher. Right now, I'm Audrey Codner. And let me tell you what the world's going to do to you. I used to have high school kids. I'm like, okay, we got it? We settled? I'm on your side. But if you keep doing this, I can't be on your side. Do you not know that they're waiting to kick your butt out of the school? They're just waiting for that. I don't want that to happen to you. All right, we good? All right. Now I'm back to being your teacher. Sometimes I had to do that. And I know, Kesha, thank you for saying that. Okay? Okay, you struggle with math and currently back in school and struggling bad. And I know, because the way that when we're going back to school, I'm so sorry. The way that we're going back to school, it's not set up for people that have been away from school for a while. College is not set up. Community college is not set up anymore like that. Years ago, yes. Not anymore. Okay? Especially now that you're going to be in a classroom of students that's been there. Okay, you're going to be in a classroom of students that's been there, that just got out of high school, now they're in college, and you're sitting around and you're like, oh, so I guess I'm grandma of the class. We ain't gonna talk for that. And the pace of the class goes like this. Like every time you do something, boom, it's another topic, another topic, another topic. And that's just in one class. And you're like, I need time for it to marinate. Because when you were in high school, you basically spent a whole week. Thank you for that. You spent a whole week on one topic. Even if you had class like 3 days, you did that A day, B day schedule type thing. You had a week. Now, you're basically learning the equivalency of what a high school student will learn in a month in 2 classes. That's what's going on. You're not going crazy. That's how it's set up. Because you can't learn all of Algebra 1 in 12 weeks. Not possible. Even kids that are taking summer school. Oh, they gotta go to summer school. They go to summer school for what, 7 weeks? So you're gonna tell me you're gonna learn a whole year of math in 7 weeks? Not possible. You're basically paying for your grade so they could just move you along. They already moved you to the next grade anyway, because on the schedule, you're going, say, to geometry. But you failed Algebra 1. Oh, he's in summer school? Okay, yeah, he'll be all right. Right. So you can do it? Awesome. Yeah, it's very difficult. And you're doing online only. So now you're teaching yourself. So that's why sometimes I tutor those that are doing like college algebra, because I get it. I get it. And that's why we try to break things down. I tried to do small groups in the years past so people could come and ask questions. I try to make myself available, but sometimes people are just like, I don't want Audrey to think that I'm stupid. You're not stupid. You just need someone to translate what this teacher is saying. And you're watching the videos that they're giving you, but it's not making sense. So this is why sometimes it's kind of like, I can do it. And you can do it. You really can. But my thing is, we need time. Because as we get older, we're so used to doing things for our kids. We're so used to doing things for other people. And then we put our feelings aside. And now all of a sudden you want to do something for yourself and you feel that you're being selfish. You're not being selfish. You're not. And when they say, you got to do self-care. All right, people come after my nails. Yeah, I work a lot in my garden. I work a lot. I'm always cleaning something. All right. But at the same time, getting your nails done is just a moment. As soon as you get home, all of a sudden, you still got to wash dishes. You just did your nails. Okay? You still got dishes to clean. You still got food to make. You still got little humans to take care of. And then you're just like, so when is you going to be you? And now you see an opportunity. And now they're saying, oh, you got to take a test. And you're like, but I've been doing this job forever. Or you got to take a test. I haven't been in school forever. That's why I designed this. That's why it took me a year to put this together. It took me a year and how many months to be live on TikTok. To seriously break down concepts. And I love when people say, show me lives from other math people. They're like, this person's not you. And I'm like, I know that's not me because I'm here scrubbing a toilet. Like I'm trying to get all that done because I like to break things down. Because that's what you need. You need someone to break it down. So if you want any of the books, if you want, not even talking about the books, let's put the books aside for a second. I know God's going to provide. God's going to provide. He always does. I want to talk to you. Okay? You. Right there. Okay? All right? I want to talk to Vera. I want to talk to Big Al. I want to talk to, who's the person? Kesha. I want to talk to Kesha. I want to talk to all of you. I want you to message me. Tell me what test you're taking. Let's come up with a plan. I know there's 92 of you guys here, and then when I put it live on YT, it's going to blow up. God's going to give me the strength, okay? He's going to tell me what vitamin to take. Now let's wrap it up. Hopefully it's not cocaine. But anyway, hope it's not that. But this is what I seriously want. I want to basically, let's come up with a plan. Okay? I want to help. Okay? That's it. Big areas, I want to do that. Jackie, you too. Because Jackie, you stepped up and you said, this is what I need and this is my anxiety. Not to put all your business out there, but everyone has that anxiety. Because if everyone was doing well with math, we wouldn't be here on this live. We'd be watching cat videos and, you know, seeing what rapper is beating up what rapper and all this other stuff. Okay? But I want you to kind of break through that. So send me, talk to me, send me a message. Like, do it right now. Do it right now. Just go to my profile, click on it a couple times, and send me a message. Send me a request message. If we talked before and it was months ago, send me a message again. Because I want to make sure that you're going into that right path. Okay, I'm putting my books aside. Maybe my books may help. Maybe it might be tutoring. Maybe if we get enough people, maybe we might be able to do like a group session. Because you don't see too many influencers that I'm reacting based off of you. Like that one person earlier that asked about fractions. And I'm going to actually do fractions this afternoon. I don't know what time. I'll fit it in. I'll do it. Because I wasn't planning on going on this afternoon. But God told me to say yes. And I say yes. So if I can just break down adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions, that's what I'm going to do. If that's going to what helps to alleviate your fear, that's what I'm going to do. But you better come and you better ask some questions. Okay? Because if you don't ask questions, and if you're like, oh, okay, I think I get it. I think I get it. All right. Good morning, Math Stephanie. Yes. Now, Jackie, I think I get it. All right. Good morning, Math Stephanie. Yes. Now, Jackie, you should also be following Math Stephanie. Jackie V22, Math Stephanie. Let me see if I can pin you. Oop, I'm about to pin something else. Okay. So, if anyone's doing elementary, because for me, I do secondary. But if anything, if anyone's doing elementary, Math Stephanie, okay? If you need assistance with especially multiplication, and multiplication is not your thing, follow Math Stephanie. Because she breaks it down. She has her flashcards with literally, we're doing go. We're working on that, okay? So you have to take the, Reese, you have to take the ACT. Good. You know the ACT goes up to Algebra 2. Did you complete Algebra 2? I have to put that out there. Did you complete Algebra 2? Definitely send me a message. Good. Holly, you're saying I'm struggling to be a pilot. Oh, cool. Well, not that you're struggling to be a pilot, but cool that you're being a pilot. Wanted to community college. Okay. Why are you scared? You just told me what your dream is. Okay, now I'm speaking to Holly. I'm speaking to basically everybody. Because now Spirit got me. Because I can feel it. And I'm just like, all of a sudden I'm sweating. Because this is what happens. You just told me what your dream was. And then you told me about fear. Remember, fear and excitement is on the same spectrum. It's all depending on how you perceive it. So you're not afraid. You're excited, but you're just not sure what that first step is. So if you know you want to go to community college and you know that's what you want to do, well then go do it. So if you want to call me your auntie, I'll be your auntie. Go do it. Do you have the money to go get it? Do you have all the resources that you need to do? And if you do, do it. If it's a fear because you're going back into the classroom, don't let that hold you back. If it's the math part, and you know that you need some of the basic math skills or all the stuff that I'm doing here, and you need that support, guess what? You got this person. You can send me an email. You can send me a message here on TikTok. We'll figure something out. Okay? Don't tell me your dream and then you try to stop it at the same time. That doesn't make any sense, boo-boo. Doesn't make any sense. Alright? Alright, so Reese, let's see if you responded back. Okay? For me, see, Central Time? No, I'm Eastern Standard Time. Okay? Learning how to do lives. Alright, Mr. Reynolds. Okay, what do you need to learn how? You just go ahead and go. You can start learning how to do lives. Alright, Mr. Reynolds. Okay, what do you need to learn how? You just go ahead and go. You can start. I don't know where my phone is. See, I'm not the type of person, I have my phone everywhere I go. It's probably on the charger. Pretend that this is your phone. You can use your phone if you have any kind of stand. If you want to use your stand, I got this on Amazon. You put your phone here. I'd rather have natural lighting, so I have all my windows, which you can see like most of the light is coming at me. It'll be best if you were facing the window, and then you just get started. That's how people get started. I love how people want to say, oh, you got to get your followers. In order for people to follow you, they need to know you. They need to trust you. If you come in here fake, trust and believe. They'll let you know. You're going to have some trolls. You're going to have some little youngins that want to come here and act all kinds of way. You just try to make people feel safe. Make them feel safe in coming on here. Oh, thanks, Miss Stephanie. So then you just go. Was it lagging for you too? I think something was going on through here. I think we're okay now. Okay? So, if anything, go ahead and do it. Whatever it is. Like, everyone keeps thinking that TikTok, you gotta do dances. No, you don't. In the beginning, when I started, you didn't see my face. I think the only reason people knew I was black because you saw my hand. That was it. But you didn't see all of this glamour coming at you. Alright? But then I decided to go onto my laptop to do the live. And then how do I project everything? My friend gifted me her document camera. So that's how I'm able to switch cameras. Okay? But let's try now. To get the second device. Yep. Starting next week, go ahead. You can start next week. Next week is today. Today's Sunday. And you can start. If you start in the middle of the week, you start in the middle of the week. If you go on and no one shows up, because when I first started, I had nobody. Until later on, after I do it like a week, I had Michael, I had film artists. Big Al came a little bit later. But it was Michael R., film artist, and Chegs something. Were 3 people that kept coming. And then a week later, all of a sudden, one live, I did an evening live, and it just, I had 1,000 people coming to my live. I was like, what's going on? I was freaking out. My pen was like shaking. I'm like, why is there so many people in here? You don't know when people are going to come to you. But the reason why they come back is because you're you. Why do we keep thinking that we're not enough? Why is that? Why is that? All because, and we all go back to that inner child. For me, it was when I was in the 1st grade, I went to Holy Angels in Philly, right? It's basically not the same. And I was at recess, didn't know anybody, so I just stayed in my little area, and all of a sudden this one girl, she had blonde hair, she was bouncing with a ponytail, coming at me, and leaned in and says, "You're ugly," and then one runs away. Am I still scarred by that little girl? Hell yeah. I have my insecurities. Do not let all of this fool you. Okay? But that's the thing. Did I let that hold me back from what I'm doing? I went through an ugly, ugly ass divorce. immature child for a marriage. Released from that 2 years ago. I am still trying to get rid of my dead name, my last name. And for me to transform from ACG math tutoring to Math by Audrey is huge, because now this is me. Not my parents, not my friends, not my ex-husband, my family. It's me. Math by Audrey. ACG really meant Audrey Codner Gibson. Gibson name, that's my dead name. Okay? Now it's about me. Trying to make things better for other people. That's what my purpose on this planet is. That's what everyone's purpose is. You learn something and then you go back. You're not supposed to be poor and broke and struggling. Like, you're not trying to be an imposter giving people fluff. You're just being you. So when you do these lives, when you do your post, you are showing you. That's it. I don't care. Like, you see this double chin is slowly going. It was triple at one point. So we're making some improvements, right? The hair will be done on Monday. I am excited. My curls are going to be popping when I get back here, right? But show your hair up in a ponytail. Okay? Maybe not have dirt under your nails or anything like that. But, like, be you. There's so many people that have so much knowledge and they're so worried about their exterior. Oh, my teeth are crooked. Oh, I wear glasses. Oh, my hair is not like everyone else's. Who cares? Be you. Just be you. Because guess what? Even if you have a twin, that person is still not exactly like you. There's always some kind of distinction from one twin to another. So it's up to you to figure out what is your heart, what is your desire, and let the world see it. Don't be selfish. Okay? Let the world see it. All right? So, as I say this, you go after your goals. I know, my uterus is like on full time right now. I'm like crying. Like, why am I crying? I think the reason why I cry because I want the best for people so badly that there's times I have to remind myself I can't want it more than you. You have to put something into action. Okay? So happy TT made a platform else. Yes! Have as a teacher. Of course. Of course. Yeah. Let the world see it. Let the world see it. You know? Yes, TikTok has its own ways, and that's why sometimes I don't say, oh, guys, you gotta, keep tapping the screens, and, oh, yeah. I would love for you to tap naturally. If you feel inspired to give gifts, go ahead, give gifts. If you feel inspired to tap, go ahead and tap. The only reason why we have some kind of tapping is so the algorithm can show people that, hey, we got something here for people. So I know right now you're like, okay, Audrey, you're kind of rambling, but I really want you to know that you have someone else in your corner. And don't you know that most strangers are your biggest supporters than family members? Let that sink in. Because my biggest supporters are here on TikTok. And we have never met. Except for a couple, like Janice I met. She actually lives right down the street from me. It's hilarious. But we support each other more than, and we're perfect strangers, than family members, people that have known you for years. They're the ones that are always like, are you sure you want to do this? Are you sure you want to do that? No. Okay? All right. So, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to get myself together. But I am going to come on this afternoon. I'm not sure. Just follow me. I think that'll be the best thing that you can do. Follow me. So when I make the announcement, because I usually just make the things. Oh, thank you, Matt Stephanie. Love that. so we can do a little bit more with the factoring. Give me some time to upload this so I can put it on my YT. Again, if you want, you can click the link that's in my profile. It says Stan Store. But the reason why I want you to go to the Stan Store is there is an actual button for the YT channel. You just click on the YT. It's between the Facebook and the Indeed. It's that, you know what I'm saying, YT channel. Click on that so you can go automatically to there, and you'll see tons of videos that I have on there. And I know I really should be trying to push and sell books. I know that. But I just feel like right here, right now, you need a supporter, not so much a salesperson right now. I think that's what you need right now. You need someone to help guide you and to create a plan. And if it's my stuff, it's my stuff. If it's Miss Stephanie's stuff, it's Miss Stephanie's stuff. If you're trying to go into nursing and you need help with dosage calculations, here's another person that you should follow. A Blessed RN. She's amazing. She does dosage calculations. Okay, let me see if I can pin that real quick. All right, so if you are trying to be going into nursing school and you need help with dosage calculations, that's your go-to. A Blessed RN. And that's one thing I wish a lot of, I don't know if I want to say an influencer, a lot of presenters should do, is to give you resources, help you to find other people. That's what we should be doing, instead of like, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, you might need this, you might need this. Because there's only so many hair serums, face things, nail things that you need. All of a sudden you're looking at a chainsaw and you live in an apartment. What are you doing with a chainsaw? What are you doing with a chainsaw? Put that down. If not, okay, I did great in that class when I was in RN program. Okay, awesome. Okay, I don't know if you saw my comment about having to take the GMAT. Oh, I didn't, Cynthia. Okay, yeah, the GMAT. Okay, I got you. Yep, so even with like the basic math that's being presented, especially in that general part, Algebra at your pace will help you out. Because it has a mixture, not just algebra, it has a little bit of geometry that we're working on today, just in case you missed it. We can watch the replay. And it also has a little bit of the statistics, the mean, median, mode, how to read a line graph, how to read a circle graph, you know, breaking down all those concepts. But also, Cynthia, make sure, yep. Okay, if anything, Cynthia, message me. Message me, send me a DM. Yep. Okay, if anything, Cynthia, message me. Message me, send me a DM. Okay, go to my profile, click on there, and send me a message. Okay, so, and then I'm going to get a quick bite of something so I can get my hormones together. Pre-algebra resources entered in 7th grade. Boom. Algebra at your pace. Anybody that's going into middle school, anyone that's going into high school and you need some previews and some reviews, boom. All day, every day. And it's a 10-book series. Okay, so it's a 10-book series. I think for the middle schoolers, as a review, I did put together like a back to school. There is a link, it's the same link, there's only one link, that's in my profile. But if anything, definitely talk to me. I'm telling you when I say, I'd rather let's talk about it so I can make sure. But I know definitely my 7th grade people, yeah, that's it. Okay? You're so welcome. All right? So, message me. I want to guide you into the right direction. This afternoon, again, I don't know. I'm looking at my schedule, I'm like, cringe. It might be like around 3 Eastern Standard Time. It might be around 3 or 4 o'clock, depending on this one person if they cancel. So we can do that. Is it PDF download? For the one on my link, most of the books are downloadable. But if you want a physical book, Scroll all the way down to the stand store, and you'll actually see where it says physical books and resources on the A. The A, I can't say that name. But, it's the brown box where everybody uses. It sends them stuff, It's a rainforest, the rainforest. And that's where you can get the physical books. So my digital books, they're the same book that's right here. This is just volume 2. I just reached for whatever it is. Is the digital version is $12.99, but the physical copy is $24.99 because I use ink, color ink, for a lot of my resources. Okay, and also the number of pages. So if you want the physical book, you can, but then you can get the digital and check to see, because there's a couple of systems. But then you can get the digital and check to see, because there's a couple of systems. So that's why I want you guys to message me first so I can walk you through it, so you're not like going into the village of stand store like, this is so overwhelming, because then I'll take you directly to where you need to go. Okay? And we'll figure out a plan that's going to be best for you. All right? Hello, Teresa. Welcome on in. All right? So, again, there's my YT. Let me put that up again. And I really would love for you guys to follow me here. You can see, if you go to the link in my profile, you can see there's other social medias. I basically try to live here because, like I said, there's a lot of strangers that we're slowly becoming friends. Like, hell, Big Al and I, we might as well be best friends. Can't wait to see each other in real life. All right? So, if anything, if you have any questions, go ahead and message me, but I will try to be here this afternoon, and I'm going to work on just fractions, adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing fractions, so you can get more information on that. All right, everyone? Okay, I'm going to skedaddle, but I will be checking my messages. If you can give me like 10 minutes, that would be awesome. All right, everyone? Talk to you soon, and keep this mindset. You got this. You got this whole thing called life. It's going to have ups, it's going to have downs, it's going to have everything in between. But no matter what, stay true to who you are. The person that you're developing, that you want to develop into. You do not need to be a clone for someone else. You do not need to carry what your generation and what your culture. You just be who you feel you want to be. All right? Don't let anyone try to distract you from that. All right? Have an amazing day. Definitely send me a DM. No rush. Okay, cool. All right, everyone. Have a great one, and I'll see you this afternoon. All right. Take care, guys.